Your Second Amendment states, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Well, in California today, those rights are infringed. We have many gun laws in place. Now, any gun law is a violation to your Second Amendment, no matter how big or how small. One of these violations we have is the right to bear arms, open carry and closed carry. In California, you cannot open carry. You could only close carry. Therefore, to close carry, you must get a CCW. According to S House, California Law Group, to get your CCW, you must go to your local sheriff's office, and you must present 4 things. 1, you must present that you're a good person of moral character. 2, you must have a valid reason to carry a firearm. 3, you must actually live in the state of California. You must have a California ID. And 4, you must have firearm training. Now, the last 3, a good reason to carry, a residency, and firearm training, I agree with. You need all 3 of those things. Firearm training, mostly. But the first one must be good moral character. How would a sheriff determine that you have good moral character? Is it the way you present yourself? Is it the way you dress? Is it the way you talk? Is it the way you hold your posture? All those things could count to good moral character. Sure, they may do background checks, but let's say you do have a bit of criminal history. Let's say you stole something. You did a bit of shoplifting, but that was years ago when you were like a kid and you didn't know better. Does he have the right to not give you your CCW because of that incident? Because people do tend to change. That actually does raise a problem when it comes to getting your CCW. Good moral character. Who has the right to determine? Now, this actually has been brought up to the state, and they closed it as constitutional because it's not sitting anywhere in the Constitution, which is actually really bad due to that problem. It makes it hard getting a CCW. Now, getting a CCW is indeed difficult due to that first thing, and it's just going to be difficult. Now, something that could be a little more trickier is buying a firearm. Once you actually buy a firearm, you don't take it home. You have to wait 10 days, 10 mandatory days put in place by the state. Now, if you want to read these gun laws about these 10-day waiting periods, you could actually go to your gov.org. You click on your state, so that would be California, Arizona, wherever you're looking for those gun laws, and you could read all about them. So on their website, on the California government website, it says, when you buy a firearm, you are required to wait a mandatory 10-day waiting period before taking your firearm home. Now, the government thinks, okay, so if someone buys a gun and we make them wait 10 days, that means they can't do any harm in those 10 days. So we saved lives. Technically, you didn't. We're going to go into the mindset of a sociopath. I know we shouldn't go there, but we're going to think like a sociopath. So I'm walking to the gun store, I want to buy a gun, and I want to kill a bunch of people that day. Well, now I found out I have to wait 10 days. Is a sociopath just going to stop? Or is he going to wait those 10 days to get his firearm to still cause mass harm? With a socio mindset, that'd be yes, he's going to wait those 10 days. So in those 10 days, you didn't stop anything. You didn't change anything. Sure, you maybe changed like 10 different people. So instead of these 10 people dying, now these different 10 people are going to die. Again, these 10-day waiting period doesn't really stop anything. It just infringes the people who actually want to get a firearm for sports, go shooting sports, marksmanship training, people who actually want to defend themselves. You're making it harder on them. Now, something else that California recently done, they changed the age requirement to buying all guns. All guns are now age 21. It used to be handguns were the only gun that you had to be 21 for. So at age 18, you could buy a rifle, you could buy a shotgun. They've now changed it to 21. You may be thinking, well, I have a hunting license and I'm under the age of 21. Am I allowed to buy a gun? Yes. So if you have a hunting license and you're below the age of 21, you could only buy a bolt action rifle. So that actually makes it a little more difficult to actually go hunting, because now there are restrictions on what type of rifle you can buy. You can only buy this certain type of rifle. But what if I need that rifle because I want to hunt bigger game? Well, now you can't. You can only hunt a certain type of animal now because you've been restricted to either one or two different types of guns. Now that we talked about the problems of getting your firearm, now let's say you actually took it home. There's two things that make it quite difficult with having it at home now. So let's say you're driving and you carry your firearm on you and you get held at gunpoint. Now you'd be able to defend yourself, correct? Because you have your firearm. So it should be right there in the middle console. You could take it out and you could defend yourself, right? Wrong. In California, you have to keep your gun in the trunk and your ammo in the glove box, separate at all times. Under no circumstance may they be together. So if you were to be held at gunpoint, well, let's say an empty parking lot, it's 11 at night and you're held at gunpoint, you don't have to ask the person to wait like 2 minutes while you go to the trunk, grab your gun, go to your glove box, grab your ammo, load your gun, load your magazine into your gun, and then you could actually defend yourself. Therefore, it's actually making it harder to defend yourself. A second thing is, you'd be lucky if you have ammunition to defend yourself. So, according to most stores like Big Five or Second Amendment, depending on which one you go to, you're only allowed to buy around 50 to 100 rounds per day. That's only around 5 to 10 magazines, depending on what type of gun you have. Now, again, if I went shooting as a sport, I did it constantly, I wouldn't really be able to do that here in California because I just wouldn't have the ammunition required. The only way to do that is if I would be saving up over the next couple months. So, some ways to actually change these laws could be very, very simple. First thing you can do is email your governor. I email the governor about every other day, telling him to change these gun laws. They're ridiculous. They cause more damage than actually safety. So, if one person's doing it, it's not enough. We actually need numbers to get those changed. Second thing you could do, very easy, vote. So look who's running for Congress, running for Senate. Look who's running. Do information. See if their viewpoints agree with yours. And vote. That's the only way things can get changed. It's your right. Now, with all these things together, hopefully our Second Amendment won't be violated as much in the future.